Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an element of the race we might look back on later as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, Monday racing this weekend with the Easter holiday in Hong Kong, and the first race we're going to look at from Sha Tin is race 5, our winning factor, up in class. Well, I think the most meaningful chances here in this Class 3 over 1200 metres are the talented but increasingly unreliable Regency Bobo as he gets older. He's to be ridden by Zach Burton. And two younger horses at the foot of the weights, Decisive 12 and Killer B. Now those two young horses are where we're going to put our focus here, rising from Class 4 to Class 3, something we touch on very often on this show, perhaps counterintuitively, as an advantage for horses. And the first one we're going to look at is Decisive 12 and his most recent effort when narrowly beaten at Sha Tin. Now we're going back here to race 483, a defeat but an honourable one in red and white. You see him go through near the inside in the early stages. He finds the lead. On the heat map, the pace quite even. But you will see he's a little bit keener than ideal and pulls against jockey Vincent Ho in the run before kicking well clear in the straight, and he certainly looks the winner at the 200 metre mark. Now, there was some attention on Ho not using the whip here until very late in the race. I don't think it was an important thing, and he told the stewards the horse was giving him everything it could, and I think that last bit he just fades due to that over racing earlier in the race, and he's grabbed on the line. Then the following week we saw the 3-year-old Killer B making his racecourse debut. This was down the straight, and we're going to race 498, and he's in green colours here. He's in the middle of the draw, and though he's probably more of a run-on type of horse the way he's bred, you see he jumps well. The heat map shows us the pace slower than average for most of the race, and I think Blake Shin made the right choice just to let the horse run along and be on the lead and let his superior talent show out, and that's what happens. He comes away over the final stages in what was quite a soft win. So both of those horses now coming up in grade from Class 4, one with a near miss and one with a 1-start, 1-win record, and all the blue sky that carries with it. Or does it? I'm going to show you a table now, and this goes back to September 2015. And this is the second start record of horses who have won their first start in Class 4 and how they've gone next time. Now, I've touched on this before, that as a group, their record is good, even profitable to follow. But here we've broken it down into particular trainers, and that tells a slightly different story. John Size and Chris So do a very fine job winning again second start with their debut winners, and are even carrying the side a little bit, with Frankie Law now also an emerging talent in this area. But as you can see, it isn't the same record for every trainer. And part of that is that you do get horses like Killer B. I mean, his breeding suggests he's going to be a miler, perhaps even get further in time. And they're able to win their first start in Class 4 off a low rating simply on the basis of quality. But as they go up in class or in the handicap, that becomes more difficult at their second start. And I think there are a few obstacles for Killer B when we take a look at the map as well. It's a race that there isn't a great deal of pace in. Decisive 12, he might lead again. He may even get a lead to follow this time if the speedier Utopia Life is positively ridden out wider. But I think Decisive 12 gets a nice run either way, while Killer B has a bit of speed drawn under him this time to make things awkward. So the tip in race 5, Decisive 12. His winning factor, up in grade. And certainly I think these two young horses are the standouts in the race, but just the fact that those stats are a little bit against the Casper Founds horse winning again after winning his debut, and the fact that he's probably got a trickier run than his rival makes me think that Decisive 12 has a decisive edge. The second race we're going to take a look at on Monday is race 7, and our winning factor here, the map. Well, I think in this Class 4 over 1600 metres, there's going to be quite a few horses that have claims on the race, and I think horses like Pure Legend dropping back in class, handy horses like Maldives, Leading Fortune and El Jefe, all racing well, will have their fans. Improving Vucan from the Paul O'Sullivan yard, and even the Class 5 horses Daily Charm and Seize the Spirit, racing well and now taking a class rise. I think there will be arguments for them as well. So quite a competitive race. But I'm going to concentrate on this occasion on the horses staying in Class 4, and primary amongst them is Vucan. Now this is Vucan's latest run. This is race 505, and he's improving with racing, as Paul O'Sullivan's horses tend to do. And this is his second super winner over 1400 metres. He jumps well. He's in yellow, red and white colours from gate 9, and he has to be bustled over to take up second position. And you see him get a little bit keen there. And I don't think it's a vice. I think it's just the combination of being pushed along to get across from his draw, and then the pace slowing up sharply, as you see on the heat map. And he's still an inexperienced horse, so he didn't relax right away. The leader sprints from a long way out. Vucan can't match that sprint, but he does apply himself well for third, and I think he gives every indication the 1600 metres will suit. Now, 8 days later, a number of his rivals in this race on Monday met over the 1600 metres, and we're going to take a look at their efforts now. And this is race 521, and we've got Maldives in grey and blue colours, Leading Fortune in green, and El Jefe, the grey in yellow and white colours. And although the distance here is 1600 metres, you see it's run very similarly to that race we showed with Vucan. A slow second section, then a sprint home from the 800 metres. And these three ran well and closed with enthusiasm, but they were tactically outpointed by the front runners in that shape of a race. You see they all get back and run to the line. Which brings us back to our key factor for Monday's race, and that is the map. And when we look at the map, it looks like being run similarly to both of those replays we've shown. A slower first half, faster second half, and we saw Maldives, El Jefe and Leading Fortune unable to bridge the gap last time in that scenario. Now, they are known quantities in that they run 1600 metres strongly, and we don't know that yet about Vucan, but his better draw here should ensure he doesn't have to be bustled early to take his forward position, and hopefully that allows him to relax better. Even the rivals who might be up on the pace with him, Daily Charm and perhaps Seize the Spirit, have to deal with their wide barriers. So the tip in race 7, Vucan. His winning factor, the map. As we saw, most of his main rivals are either hostage to the tempo here or having to deal with wide gates. I think Vucan gets the run of the race. He's a horse on the rise, and I think that's going to be key for him here. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Good luck on Monday. We'll see you next time.